Assembly of a John Deere Lawn Sweeper, William Hovey Smith, 2015. Here it is as arrived. Now this uses simple tools. You can use a socket set, but it can be done with an adjustable wrench, a pair of pliers, and a screwdriver. I am the author of Backyard Deer Hunting, and here we assemble a new piece of equipment for our lawn maintenance chores.
This is Hovey Smith with Hovey's Outdoor Adventures, and we have right here a lawn sweeper to help me pick up this pine straw and stuff in my 4 acres of lawn. So brother-in-law Charles here and we're going to be about putting this thing together, and this is one of those dreaded some assembly required kind of items. The unit weighs boxed something like 120 pounds. Hence we are holding around on the trailer a little bit before we start breaking it apart into little pieces. And the John Deere, and as you can see, it is John Deere green, at least in part. So as we get into this thing, we'll bring you along. Well, we have the parts out and are about to proceed. And the first thing we're going to do is, there are some long bars actually attached to the sweeper mechanism itself. Thank goodness they've assembled that much. I'm going to cut those off and then proceed to put on the attachments. And we're going to do the non-guy thing and actually read the directions.
Feel it now.
Well, the first step is to attach the tongue. Now the tongue and the draw go on the pull side of the mower here. You see the John Deere symbol here on top and this crossbar. The two dark pieces hold the pull piece, which is a piece of square tube, and that's the only square tubing you've got. And there are 2 holes, and this mechanism goes in the front hole here. These are 2 hand twist nuts, and these are threaded all the way down. They're the only nuts in the entire kit that have threads all the way down the length of the nut. It's significant that there are spacers right down at the bottom of the hand twist heads there to hold those adjustable pieces up above that wedge-shaped piece. On the sides, we have 2 pieces next, and these connect ultimately to the bag. And this is just 2 cotter keys and 2 smooth pins that go down through there. There are 2 lengths of these pins. One is very long, but all the rest of them, I believe, are perhaps the same size, although we'll see. Well, another friend, Richard, has joined us for the assembly, and we are now proceeding to assemble the frame itself that holds up the bag. You do use all of the parts, however. There are no extras. You'll notice the one long piece on top center. That's actually your control arm. And they're holding the bag now on the frame, although we'll have to thread the bag through portions of the frame in the end. But now we have the frame outlined. We know basically where the frame parts fit, so we can proceed. All right. Now we have the frame part assembled, and we're assembling the bag to it. You'll notice that central piece that has the U on the bottom, that's actually the control arm for dumping the bag. And the frame pieces will have to have the bag wrapped around them, but we're showing them to you now loose so you can see how they fit. And in fact, we do use them, every one. And those with the nuts and bolts go through the tubing on the side and are withheld by a small spring assembly. Okay, we have completed our assembly. And there it is in more or less its riding position. It's going to be a little more level than that. Now you notice in the back one set of the chrome tubular rods go on the inside, and there are also two small, very small metal pieces that are long, thin steel rods that are used just as spreaders right there in the back, and I'll show you a close-up of that in just a second. But the assembly, yeah, we had 3 people, and I would say it took about 2 hours for people who've never touched it before, never seen it before. We disassembled and put together parts several times to get it right, but we're convinced that, yeah, we now have it serviceable. And this is a closer view of the inside of the bag, and you can see the rod on the bottom. Now there are some ties at the top, and there are 2 snaps at the bottom to help keep the bag in shape. The unit is adjustable, so you can adjust the height of your rotors. And we're going to pull a little bit around the yard and see how that does. But basically we're done.
We now have done our first function test with the lawn tractor. And what we have found out is this pine straw is fairly damp. And so this is about as much a load as it would pick up. Now we were able to adjust the sweepers using these adjustments here, which allows you to change your sweeper depth so far as the lawn is concerned. And we also have spacers where it hooks up to the tractor, so you can raise the entire front of this so the bottom doesn't strike tree roots and rocks and other such things. But on the whole, the sweeper does pretty good. Now it might work better on this pine straw if I actually ran a tractor that had a mower on it and cut the straw before we attempted to sweep it. And I think that might actually work better. So we'll have occasion to try that. But for now, yeah, the sweeper's together, it functions, does good. The only problem I had is if you run over limbs or something like that, yeah, it can bind it up. But now, this is Hovey Smith, reminding you to hunt what you eat and eat what you hunt. Be legal, be ethical, be safe, goodbye, God bless, and see you next time. Yeah, you okay, hound doggy? All right. Yeah. Good doggy too. Yes, you are. Besides backyard deer hunting, among our prize-winning books are extreme muzzleloading, crossbow hunting, practical bow fishing, and a new line of muzzleloading e-books. Included among these are muzzleloaders for hunters and shooting and maintaining your muzzleloader. I also have a new line of business books under the Profit brand, and the first of these is Ideas for New Businesses, How to Start Your Own Million or Billion Dollar Business, and here's a little blurb about me in the book. Now, small limbs can jam up the mechanism, so if you pull and your wheels don't turn, okay, that's likely what happened. Now, this lawn sweeper allows individuals like me who can no longer stand up and rake for hours to get the yard chores done. For more information on my books, blogs, and more than 475 videos, you can go to my website, www.hoveysmith.com. Good hunting and good eating from the outdoors. Goodbye, and God bless.